All right, so we're entering into the why video. All right, it is 7/22/2019, 3:17 p.m. and we're entering into the why video. Now, the why video, what it's for, so we remember and we have clear thoughts about it, is Sadie is talking Sadie away from quitting. Now, this is Sadie in her most darkest moment. It will happen usually when you're doing very freaking well, but you're the one looking yourself in the mirror saying it's not happening fast enough, it's not working for me, maybe I don't deserve this, whatever kind of negative emotion begins to surface. Now, it doesn't happen for everybody, but 8 out of 10 it will. At some point, it could be 6 months, 12 months, whatever, it will freaking happen at least one time. Don't let people be that effect on you. If anyone needs to affect that, it's you. If you're talking crap to yourself, fine, but don't take it from anyone else. And if you're talking crap to yourself, then quickly reverse it and remember who you are and why you stepped out to do this in the first place. Okay? So your why is, why are you really doing this? I want the deep truth. If it's surfacey, if it's like on that subcutaneous layer that's soft and squishy, I will dig you deeper. So you have to tell me what the truth is, because I will get it out of you. So whatever the truth is, let the crap roar, come out of you. Don't hold back. This is like real life. So tell me why this matters to you, probably why it's mattered for a while, and then you tell yourself why you 1,000,000% can never stop this process. I don't care what happens to you, what happens in your relationship, what happens in your overall family, what happens at your job, what happens with your kids, what happens with absolutely anything connected to you. Why it matters that you have to continue through those dark moments, why it matters that you have to do all of the different approaches that I'm going to give you, all of the different things that keep you on track, why it matters for us to meet every 30 days. Why are you doing this insane process? Why did you invest so much money? Why? That's what this is.
Well, I obviously have tried to do it myself, and I don't have accountability, like, for myself, I guess. I don't know, that sounds really bad, but, like, I've tried and then I fail. And it's like, if I have someone there to say, like, like, you need to do this today or whatever, like, I'll do it. I just need that accountability. And I'm like gonna be 32 and I'm like, I don't want to be unhealthy. I don't want, like, pain that's avoidable. I don't want to have to be on a bunch of medications when I'm like 50. You should see my dad's med bag. It's ridiculous. He's got like 2-gallon size bags of medicine. I don't want that. And I feel like I'm going through a midlife crisis. So I'm like, I need to do something.
Okay, that's good right there. Tell me about that midlife crisis. What does that mean?
Like, I'm trying to, like, better myself. Like, I obviously,
try to not do blanket statements. Instead of saying, I want to do better myself, what does that entail? Unpack doing better for myself.
So obviously I have like a depression problem, and I'm trying to be a more happy person.
What does that mean? What does happy look like for you? Gotta be
Like, not have like days where I feel sad for no reason.
Okay. And why do you feel sad for absolutely no reason? When does that hit you? Why does it hit you?
Well, it just depends. Like, it could be a lot lately. It's my son. Like, you're gonna make me cry just talking about it.
Everyone cries during the Y video. It's okay. Let that crap roar.
But yeah, he's been weighing heavy on me lately. And
What do you mean?
well, my husband's aunt just committed suicide like 2 weeks ago. And
Got
that like brought all of those feelings back, how I felt 3 years ago when I lost Christian. Like I never thought those feelings would come back, and they did.
mm,
And I'm sad that they came back because I never thought I'd be that low again.
mm, mm. Okay. So keep going. Keep going. You're headed somewhere good here. Keep going. Keep going. Don't
I
hold
don't know.
back, Sadie. Don't hold back. Even if you need to freaking close your eyes and kind of just exist in your head, do not hold back. You're headed somewhere good. And it's these places where breakthrough actually happens. I've watched it hundreds of times at this point. So you can do it. You can do it. Let go. There's no one here but you and me. No one sees these videos. This is Sadie talking to Sadie, and me just trying to get you to the point where you can be real with yourself.
Yeah, well, so that's like a problem for me right now. And my other 3 kids, I want to not feel anxious when my daughter, she's going to school for preschool this fall. And I already told Matt, I'm like, I'm already anxious about school stuff that I'm going to have to go to. I don't want to feel that way.
Right. Now,
And
why, why do you get anxious? Why do you get
I
anxious?
was
What makes you
just,
feel good?
I feel like I get anxious because of how I feel people think when they look at me, when they see me. Like my mom, she always, always, always judged me and put me down every single day when I lived with her growing up. And you have that in the back of your mind all the time. Does my hair look right? Does my makeup look right? Because she would always say, it looks like shit. Your makeup's not right. That doesn't match. Blah, blah, blah. So it's like it's like constantly like burned into my brain. Even if I don't associate the negative with my mom, it's just there.
Okay. Okay. So you think because of how your mom has kind of misled you in your path as an adult, that other adults are looking at you and thinking the exact same thing when you go to your children's functions.
Yeah, and it's not just my children's things, it's anywhere.
Okay. Okay. So literally this is something that's haunting you right now. So a part of your why is being able to accept, number one, accept the fact that that's a whole load of crap, because you are beautiful, right? You are capable, right? You didn't just step out to this because you didn't think you could do it. You stepped out, and these are your words. You stepped out because you knew you could do it, but you knew you needed an accountability, right?
Mm-hmm.
So really, absolutely everything she had to say, really and truthfully, will soon not even exist. It's going to be a switching of your mindset, but it won't even exist. And basically, when that no longer exists, that's where you're going to start to see all of the good stuff rise. And that's going to be you feeling more confident. So a part of your why is confidence. It stems from your
Yeah.
mind, but the overall arching theme is confidence. So let me ask you a question. If we're talking 12 months down the line, you've kind of lost either where between 50 to 70% of what it is that overall you would like to lose. You have all of this confidence. Who would you be then?
Who would I be?
Who would you be? Who would Sadie be? Would she have that same exact reaction that you just gave me, or would she be somebody who's like, yeah, nothing bothers me. Nothing bothers me. Like, I don't care what people think about me. What I think about me is what matters because I'm doing X, Y, Z. I've conquered X, Y, Z. I'm now super mom, looking good to my children, which is kind of my next route I would be going. So like what is it like? Who would you be?
Well, that is my goal, is to not give a shit what other people think.
But what will make you do that? Think about that deeply because this is the point that you got to break. What will make you not care what other people say to you? What is that? What does that look like? And really define the crap out of that. Because this is a part of your why.
I don't know what that looks like.
Sure you do. Dig deep. You've just never been asked that question before. Because think about it like this, right? So everybody goes to a process like this when they're at their absolute breaking point, right? There is no more left. They really feel like it's over. I'm going to reach out one time, and if it doesn't work, F it. I've heard that multiple times, right? So think about that. What does that look like for you to be that person that doesn't care about what other people are thinking about you? Is that connected to your weight? Is that constant thing in your head just connected to your weight? Is it connected to your look? Like, who are you in 12 months from now when you've gotten those results? 50 to 70% of them at the very lowest end.
I don't feel like it's necessarily connected to my weight.
Let's go there. So what is it connected to? You got to
I
really think deep.
I just feel like it was like burned into my brain, and I don't know what it feels like to not worry about that. I
Okay.
feel like I always have.
Okay. Well, think about it like this way, right? So if you've always thought a certain way, you've always been in the same scenario. So you've always felt less than. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah.
Okay. Now, this stems from your mom, but what about you? Where does it stem from you? Why do you think you're allowing this to happen? What is it because? I want to dig this out of you. It has to be something that's deeper connected to why you're letting this happen. What do you feel about yourself that is truly less than? Because what people say to us, that goes into our subconscious mind, but how we deal with what they say to us deals with our conscious mind. So you have to understand why you're consciously agreeing with these things. So once you understand that, you're going to understand your why, and we got to get it out now. So most people, it is connected to weight. It's like, I don't like, going to a store. I've heard this multiple times from women. I don't like going to a store, looking at these nice clothes. I would love to wear them. But it's like I'm a window shopper because I know that I'm not able to fit in those things. That's one thing I hear all the time. All the time. Moms typically go to their kids, though, where it's like, I want to be the best role model for my children, and I don't want them to feel less than.
Well, yeah, they're it too. Like my daughter Tori, she is a spinning image of her dad. Like my husband Matt, he loves sweets, hates vegetables. She's the exact same way. And
Okay.
I do not want her to like be like me.
Mm-hmm. Okay. But you know what? Let's reverse that a bit because I see some power happening here actually. Let's not say you don't want her to be like you. Let's say that you don't want her to be like the old you.
Yeah.
You have to see that you're in a constant state of change. Once you understand that there's almost nothing no one can say to you, it's a constant state of evolving, constant state of evolution. And once you understand that, there is really no way of rising because when most people rise, and this is getting very psychological now, but when most people think they've hit something or they think they've accomplished something, now what happens? They get lackadaisical and now they get comfortable and now they start lowering their standards again and eventually they're right back to where they started. But if you're in a constant state of evolving, no matter, and this was the question I asked, when you're 50 to 70% to what your goal is going to change. Because once you start seeing this process happen, you yourself are going to change. There are certain emotions that you've probably never shared with yourself that are going to come out. I hear that a lot. So you have to understand that there is no rise. There's just moving up, right? At the same way, The rise is connected to the fall. They're both actually connected to the same hemispheres of your brain. So there is no rise, there is no fall, there's just life. And however you look at that and however you see that is how you perceive what everyone else says about you. So it's reversing that. It's wordplay. So you got to be careful with your words because they're very powerful. So you don't want your children to be like the old you, the you that was not evolving. But now, since you're in that state of evolution, you want your kids to be like that. You said that you don't want your kids to take on the behaviors of your husband. But when you become the leader, and when I mean leader, I literally mean leader, you're leading the household and how the things you put into your body, your kids will see how you're exercising, your kids will see the change in your personality, kids feel all of that, your spouse is going to feel that, see that, you're going to become a leader of that, and you have the opportunity to be able to reverse all of that stuff. Because really that can become a literal generational curse. You don't want that to be like that. Where it's just one line after the next that is followed to your bloodline, that it just keeps that same behavior happening because no one decided to change it. So that's how much power is in this.
That's what my dad said to me, was it like 2 weeks ago, when he was like, well, you should do the gastric bypass with me. He's like, I think I told you, he said, you're not gonna look like that, or you're not gonna be able to get like that, because he's like, look at great grandma, she was big, look at your great aunts, they're big, blah blah blah. It's just not gonna happen.
All that is the crab theory. So the crab theory says that everybody wants you to follow them. Everybody wants you to follow them. He is trying to get you to agree with the words that he's saying. And once you put your agreement to it, your brain goes to work in believing it. But the same truth, scientifically, that if you disagree with that and you allow your brain to believe that that is a dis-a-frickin' agreement, now your brain goes to work on that. So you are constantly being asked to go left or freaking right. And it's deeper than just saying words. You're actually teaching your brain patterns. Like, that's how important this crap is to understand. So the patterns that you have to really start listening to how you're speaking to yourself and how you're agreeing with others. That is key. So a part of your why is, number one, you want to be a better mom. You want to be a better mom. You want to be the mom that your kids can look up to and actually see someone that they want to be like. Right? 100%. You want your kids to want to be like this new Sadie. And I think, and I want you to say it for yourself, but I think this is probably also connected to your spouse. How is this connected to your spouse? This process, just however you feel it to come. There's no right or wrong answer. How do you feel like this is connected to your spouse?
Well, I want to be better for him too. Like,
okay. What does that mean? Does it mean emotionally, sexually? What does it mean? Like,
well, I don't want him to be my crutch anymore. I don't want to feel like
emotional crutch or physical crutch?
What?
Emotional crutch or physical crutch?
Emotional. Like, okay, so yesterday,
Yeah.
this was a big deal for me. Yesterday, I did go to the winery yesterday, which was a big deal for me because I don't do that. I don't go out with friends. I don't, because the anxiety stops me. And I told Matt this morning, I'm like, I am so proud of myself that I did that. And I actually enjoyed it. And I didn't, when I was there, I didn't like, oh my God, I want to go home. Like this, I don't like this. I didn't feel that way. So that was like a huge thing for me yesterday.
Why do you think that felt that way? What do you think is different from that? Because you were freaking out about it. What do you think changed?
Because I said, okay, I was like, I don't ever get asked to like go do stuff like that. And if I do get asked, I'll use the kids as an excuse, like, oh well, you know, I don't have a babysitter, so I can't go. But I was like I said, I'm trying to work on myself and like make myself like do uncomfortable things sometimes.
Got it. So that you just said it right there. That's what I was trying to pull out of you. So you decided to do something that was uncomfortable.
Yeah, well, this whole thing with you is uncomfortable.
Now you're getting somewhere. Because one thing, remember what I just said about teaching your brain? You did one thing that took a huge, massive freaking leap of faith. Massive leap of faith. You have never invested on yourself. You have never invested on yourself. You probably invested on everybody else but Sadie. I see this a lot. A lot. So once you made that one investment on yourself, what happened next? Another positive thing, didn't it? This is
Mm-hmm.
chemical. You actually can't stop this. But what you can do is you can halt that process by then, if something challenging comes your way, shying away from it. You need to become the person who is literally consistently doing things that challenge you.
Yeah.
But once that happens, you're going to keep seeing this ball roll. Just like that. You're going to have one opportunity after the next. You're like, okay, Sadie, let's do this. Let's jump in. If that becomes your behavior, again, you are creating something in your brain that there are patterns of positivity. So when negativity comes your way, it won't even hit you because your brain's not connected to it anymore. It will be very weird. You'll really, really understand what I'm saying now later. You'll really freaking get it and you'll bring it back to me because everyone does. Eventually, you're going to say back to me like so much positive stuff is happening. It's just out of nowhere. No, it's not out of nowhere. Your brain is going to work to keep in that same pattern. This is how deep this goes into how you are literally made. When you have a connection to something that's positive, your body thinks that's connected to homeostasis. When you have something negative going on constantly, your body thinks that is connected to homeostasis. So it's just trying to remain where it is. That's why it was so hard for you to make this decision on this process. Your brain has gone to work for years on what you should not do, who you are to be good to, which has not been yourself. And then on top of that, that you don't take risk, healthy, pointed risk. So the process itself, even though it'll change your entire life, was difficult for your brain to jump on board with. Now you're seeing that you jumped on board. You see this positive thing? See it.
Yeah.
So now since you jumped on board, you had the wine event. You didn't mess up. That was your subconscious telling you, well, Sadie, in the past, I freaking really remember that if you were faced with something like this that you actually liked, we didn't have any control. Nonsense. Now your conscience has grasped that moment. And it sounds like a bunch of voodoo, and I understand, but this is psychology. Now, if you grasp that healthy, happy moment, your body's going to want another one, and another one, and another one, and another one. And now they're going to come all the time. This is not freaking happenstance. Do not let me hear you say that. Because it is 100% chemical. Your body is becoming in balance with itself, looking at risk in a good light. Do you please get this right now.
No, I get it.
Okay, in a positive light. So let's keep that going. The next challenge you have, remember this conversation and jump, because that's a part of your why. To have more good things happen in your life. Right?
Mm-hmm.
Because that is what takes us out of depression. Because I've been there. You have to have one positive thing after the next happen to you. And it's actually up to how we see things. When we take more risk, that is actually connected to positivity. People don't understand that. But the people who do are billionaires, millionaires. They get it. They freaking get it. One risk after the next without thought. Because if you think too much, usually the risk that you're trying to take is yourself trying to get to where you want to go. But because you're not used to taking those risks, your subconscious holds you back at par. So you never get to see what you're capable of. Ever. 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 Now you're seeing it. Sadie's this happy girl. She's this woman who's outgoing. You know, she enjoys hanging out with her friends. She enjoys wine from time to time, but she's controlled. This is your story. I'm just repeating it. It's your story. So at the end, and there's always an end. I always call every end of the year an end. Where most people are starting their New Year's resolutions, you're going to call it your end, and then you're going to start something else again. And at the very end, you're going to say who you now are. Sadie is this outgoing woman. You know, she's lost XYZ weight. You know, she's so vibrant and confident. You know, her kids are looking up to her. You're going to speak to yourself in the written word. And it's powerful as crap. It's powerful as crap, man. But it's going to be one thing after the next. So in your journal, you probably didn't even see it this way, but in your journal, in your very next preparing for tomorrow's success or for the getting ready to do battle in the mind, somewhere in there, you must put that you went to that wine event and how it made you feel. Because again, you're literally siding with your brain saying, listen, this was a positive experience, although it forced me out of my comfort zone. That's the power. So in that journal, you must do it. You promise? Awesome, man. Freaking A. So there's a lot of good stuff connected to this. I'm already starting to see this. So let's look at the process. So we talked about your kids. We understand why you're doing this for your kids. We also understand that you want to be more outgoing and have more fun because all of this is connected to more fun. And what your brain likes, it wants more of, right? That's why we get connected to sugar, because it's fun. The brain, it literally takes sugar immediately and it processes it right away as its main source of energy. It does the same thing for alcohol. That's why we love alcohol. That's why we love sugars, because the brain loves it. It has nothing to do with us. It has nothing to do what you think you like. It is your brain 100% doing what it does. It likes saturated fat because it's made up of mostly saturated fat, and it loves sugar because sugar is its primary energy source. Done. That's how this works. So you're finding ways to understand the science of your own brain. And once you understand how your brain works, you understand how you work. And then all of those different challenges, they get easier and easier and easier. So now back to the weight. Why do you think it's healthy? Why do you think it's a great idea for you to lose this weight? I don't even like really saying weight, inches. Just body fat. Why do you think it's such a great idea to not only change the way you think and the way you see things so your brain can want more of those good things, but why do you think it's good for you to lose weight? Tell me in your own words, because this is 1,000,000% a part of your why.
Well, I mean, it's like a healthy thing. Like it's not healthy to be overweight.
Okay, what does that mean though, right? Because everybody knows that. Everyone knows to say that. It's almost like a reaction, right? Well, I want to lose weight because it's healthy. Sure it is. But let's get deeper. Why for you? Why for you? And you gotta name it. You gotta name it. Because most people who are overweight, they have never even thought about this, even though they know they need to do it. It's usually just, well, just want to lose weight. Okay, but why? We gotta get there. We gotta get there. Because once you get there again, that is now a connection that you're making with your brain. So when a negative thing comes up, that immediately will be turned off because you remember all of these things. That's why I said it's rehearsal. So when you can, you're going to watch this over and you're going to take all of this in. It's probably going to make you cry. It's going to have lots of light bulbs going off. It's going to make you want to journal in your thing a little bit differently, right? But right now, let's pull it out. So why is it that we are here losing body fat?
I don't know. I don't know what to say.
Come on, Sadie.
I guess what kind of pushed me over the edge or like forced me into like wanting this, like seriously wanting it, was like it's like I'm 31 and my right knee hurts sometimes, like really. Like that's not okay. Like that's not okay. I don't want to be like my dad. He can hardly walk. And he's got so many comorbidities, he can't even have the knee surgery. So it's like I don't want that.
Anything else?
I mean, I just keep thinking about my kids. I want to be able to like go to the pool with my kids and not feel uncomfortable about it or be anxious about it. Like I want to be able to do activities with them and not be self-conscious or like worry about other people. I just want to be in the moment with them and not, instead of completely 100% enjoying the moment with them, I'm in my own head, like I've got demons, like worrying about shit that doesn't even matter.
Anything else?
No.
Okay. Dude, you just said 5 freaking powerful words. And when you watch this, I want you to watch it over. Like, hear me right now. You just said 5 very powerful words, and I want you to find what they are when you watch this over. When you hear me say this right now, I want you to watch that over because you said some really, really powerful words that were all connected to pain. So like it started with your physical pain and then it existed with the pain that you feel when you're out around with your kids. You don't want to be tied to the pain that's connected to your father. It's all based off of pain. You have several layers of pain, and that's another connection for you to your why. You got to harness that pain though. That pain is so dadgum healthy, it's not even funny. So if you look at the process for what it is, you're trying to get out of pain. And everyone is. That's why we can't judge people. That's why we cannot judge people. It's so child's play to judge anybody's process because absolutely everyone, regardless as to what they look like, they're all trying to get out of pain. I've worked with some women that most women would want to look like, and they're in pain because something usually that their spouse said to them or something that their parents said to them or something that they literally feel inside themselves is keeping them back from absolutely everything. Absolutely everything. Those pains, that's your connection. My why is connected to the pain I've seen my grandmother take on. Your pain is connected to everything. I mean, you said a lot, but a big one is your dad. You're literally watching your dad. You're seeing the problems that he's having. He's the one who said the bypass thing. He's the one who keeps bringing this stuff up. He's the one who believes that it's just in the family. It's going to be that way. Who cares what you do? No matter what, you got to get the surgery because we're all screwed. He's the one. He's one of your biggest connection to your why. He's actually one of the biggest ones. So let me ask you this. Are you really excited to prove him wrong so that he can jump on board and see how powerful it is to do what it is that you're doing? Would that be right? Would that be accurate or wrong?
No, I haven't told him that I like did this with you because I don't even know what he's going to say.
No, the thing is, it doesn't matter. It really doesn't matter what he says. But as he starts to see your body decreasing, what do you think he's going to want? He's going to say, Sadie, what's going on? Are you sick? Are you okay? Like, what the heck? I've never seen this before, right? He's in your face every day, right? He's the one who sees you weekly, whatever it is. He knows his daughter. So now that his daughter is going to be becoming more positive, she's going to be understanding how this process really works. And because of all it is changing, he's going to ask. So
he is a person. I love him to death. He's my favorite. He's one of my favorite people, but
I can tell that.
Sometimes I can't be around him because he is just so negative all the time.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I sometimes it's like, well, I want to see my dad, but I just feel like he's in one of those moods today, so I'm not gonna call him or whatever.
Yep. I have this in my family too. You know, it's like for me, you know, I'm an online specialist. I'm a coach. I specialize in something. But when most people see what I do, they're just thinking, oh, he's just a personal trainer. Could be far from the truth. So the thing is, it's like in your family, they're not going to understand absolutely everything you're doing, even if it's good, like even if it's really good. They're going to want you to be at their level. They're going to want you to be at their level. That is the part you must understand. It does not make them evil people. It makes them not understand their brain. They don't understand how their brain works. So therefore, they're just going along with what their brain says. So their brain believes that if you're not doing something a very specific way, i.e. bypassing, you're not going to lose weight because that's our family. Right? It's the same truth if you step out to do absolutely anything that brings you a ton of joy. If your family doesn't agree with it, they're going to say, Sadie, I think you should think about this because it's not X, Y, Z. And again, that's coming back to their comfort zone. They don't understand this is chemical in their brain. They don't understand this is their subconscious mind, and it's speaking directly out of them. And it's why they are where they are. I had to have this conversation with my mom because I watched my mom go through diet after diet after diet. She's been through more diets than anyone I've ever worked with. And she eventually heard me out. And she's like, wow, this is actually really intelligent. And she understood it. And then now she jumped on it. And now she's actually seeing success. A person who jumps in and out of everything. And now she's staying on it. That doesn't make sense. It's because the process changes you, right? Mm-hmm. You don't have a choice in that matter because you're going to make lots of positive connections. Your dad is not going to understand.
No.
But in the process, as long as you get that, and he asks you questions like that, like, Dad, I've stepped out to get healthier. What does that mean, Sadie? Don't worry about it. I'm doing it for me, and I'm doing this for me. That's it. Keep it very simple. You don't need to tell anyone scrolls long of what your life is like. I love the question. You know, people who went to our school and stuff, like, Jay, how are you doing? What are you doing now? I'm all right. Like, why? I don't need to express myself to you. I owe you nothing.
Yeah.
But very simple, small answers. You can take that because it would be rude if I just said, well, don't worry about it. I'm doing okay. How are you doing? You know what I mean? It's just the same exact thing with your family. If you do that with your family, you'll win. Because your brain is going to go to bat for you and say, yes, Sadie, you're on the right path. You're freaking on the right path. So let's just keep believing this process. We don't want to basically let our family take us off of any form of belief that we have, that you yourself have designed inside of your head that is connected to the positive role that we talked about. Remember, the brain wants more of what you give it of. Okay, so we want to stay on that positive role. I have several relatives, because of who they are, I love them to death. But because of who they are and the negativity that they talk and the way that they believe, like, I hate to freaking say this, but dang, my brother, you know, he's constantly talking about, you know, how the average American makes this, and you know how this can never happen because, you know, he has now 5 kids and all of this stuff. He constantly is talking about this negativity, and all I want to say to him is, like, shut up and change it.
Yeah.
But I can't have that conversation with him because my mind is elevated. Like, I'm going straight up. There is no sense of going down for me at freaking all. And that's what my business has been doing ever since I started it, and I tell no one else about it because it doesn't matter. It simply doesn't matter. What matters is, yes, you love your relatives. Yes, it's great to say, hey, I stepped out to be healthier. Well, what does that look like? Well, I'm just eating right. I'm exercising more. It's what you should do, right? Like, what are they going to say? Yeah, I guess so. Well, good for you. All right, end of conversation. Let's be done with that, and let's just keep rolling on the positive thing.
Yeah.
See what I'm saying? So positivity is not fool's gold, and it's not witchcraft. It's real. So as you're connecting every decision you make to positivity, you're eventually not going to have those same conversations anymore because they're going to understand you stand on different layers of understanding. Like, if we say this to Sadie, she's just going to say this. She'll just be short with you, so don't really ask her. Just know she's doing great. It's different response, right?
Mm-hmm.
So a part of your why is 100% that. It is actually to prove your dad wrong. I think that's so deeply embedded within you. If you could just admit that for yourself, this is going to be probably one of your deeper connections to your why. You said yourself, you love your dad, you love him. He's like your favorite freaking person, but I can't be around him too much because of XYZ. You want to prove your dad wrong so your dad has a chance. I really believe that. And I also believe that your dad still has a chance, and I think that through you is the only chance he'll get. If he sees his daughter stepping out to do something different for herself, he knows who you are, and all of a sudden you're becoming this positive person, you're losing all this body fat, you're becoming stronger, you're having conversations about how your health is feeling, how your sleep is progressing, the relationship with your husband, your kids, how everything in your life is connected. There's no other way for him to not want that. He's going to want it. He's going to want that. And it will happen in normal conversation. It won't even be about your process. It will just be normal conversation. He's going to wonder what's going on. And when people see positivity, the cool thing about it, even though they don't have the connection with their brain yet, because they see it and the brain understands it, the brain wants to jump on that. That's why they ask questions. You can't fault people for asking questions because they actually want to have what you have. But the nature of people is to pull you back if you're not careful.
Mm-hmm.
So one thing that I recommend is always do everything in silence. Only bring something up if someone just freaking beats you over the head with it. Like, Sadie, what the heck? You're losing all this daggum weight. You look great. Like, what the heck? It's your decision at that point to say, I've just been exercising and eating more and maybe reading some books on the mindset. You don't have to tell them about this process at all. That is a really freaking great answer. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Do this crap in super silence. In super silence.
That was kind of my plan.
Yeah, it's a great plan. I do everything that way. And it's probably the smartest thing I've ever done because I used to be so affected by my family, dude. Like, I would not jump and move on anything. Great things. Wouldn't move because it wasn't the way they thought it should be. I've accepted that. And I've lost out on opportunities because of that stuff. There's a certain point you got to say no, draw the line in the sand, and there's a certain standard that you keep and other standards that must fall behind. Because seriously, if they're not going your way, they have to get out of your way. They have to get out of your way because your brain will make that happen anyway. You'll just literally just start living your life, just start saying different things, and it'll just keep moving. It'll literally just keep moving, and you'll feel so happy. And so many, you're going to feel that with your friends. Your friends, they're the first ones that are going to say, Sadie, what's so different about you? You look great, girl, and whatever. It's like, that's what's going to happen, man. And those are the people you can share with. Like, yeah, man, I'm getting healthier. You know, I've started exercising. I'm eating healthier. You know, I'm getting my mind right. I'm not letting negative people be around me. That's a really easy response. So you just have to think that way. But this is connected to your why. Would you agree? Your dad?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. All right. Interesting. Interesting. Man, there's so many different layers here. So many freaking different layers. Is there anything that we might have missed? I'm trying to keep up because it's a lot. It's a lot. It's a lot.
I don't think so.
You sure? Think for a second. Just like be in silence with yourself just for a second and see if anything else just pops up into your head. Because this is your why video. This is going to keep you moving forward. I freaking promise.
I don't think so.
Okay, so last question. What would you say to the girl that's in you that wants to quit? Talk to her. What would you say? Last thing that I'm going to ask, just put it in your words. Keep it short and sweet, but keep it direct.
I mean, there's my kid. Like, I can't quit because of them. I mean, I need to be the best version that I can be of myself because I'm their one and only mom. They won't get another one.
Awesome. And what else? We talked about a lot. This is kind of like the recap. This is the conclusion.
Yeah. Well, like my mom and dad, I mean, I didn't realize until you and I were talking that my dad's a part of it. I for sure would have said, no, it's not dad, it's my mom. But I kind of want to like tell them both, like, fuck you guys. Like,
Yeah.
you know, like,
But you know what? The biggest form of fuck you is actually winning on your own. To let them see that is silent victory as crap, dude. They can't take that from you because that's physical, that's tangible.
yeah.
They can't take that from you. They cannot take that from you. You're the only person. You have got to understand this. You're the only person that can accept that. You are the only person. They can't make you accept that. No matter how harsh or how much they push and tug, they cannot make you accept what they feel and believe. They can't do it. That's your own business.
Mm-hmm.
Right? So yeah, the biggest form of fuck you is actually winning. That's the biggest form. It's revenge, man. It's revenge. Like on your entire life, it's freaking revenge. So really, parent revenge, being better for your kids, I'm trying to like summarize it. Parent revenge, being better for your kids, being more outgoing, having more confidence. What else?
Like the anxiety thing.
Anxiety.
Yeah, like I don't want to feel that.
Amen. Okay. This was a good why video.